I like this desk.
Why?
It's very DIY.
Oh my god, it's just a bit of wood, isn't it?
Yep. And then some plastic crates.
That's pretty good.
If you sit there, and then I'm just going to play this back on the mic on the earphones and just should I say something?
Hello.
Okay.
Matt, say something.
Hello.
How's it going, everyone? It's Kenneth here, and today's podcast is going to be with myself, Matt, and Katie. And if you've watched any of my videos on YouTube, you'll know that we all have our allotment together. And I thought it would be, a pretty cool idea just to sit down and chat with them and just sort of speak about, the things we've done on the allotment so far and the experience we've had, and just take it from there. So I hope you guys enjoy, and here we go. I think as well, if you get put on the spot, you're like,
Yeah. Just make something up. Anything will do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I suppose the allotment.
That's alright, we've got my phone. We can Google things to do with courgettes.
Yeah. It's on Instagram, a lot of the people that I speak to, when we first planted the courgettes, we've got friends that live in, what's that place called near Salisbury?
Shrewsbury.
No, it's Chippenham? Is it Chippenham?
Yep.
And they just laughed and said, good luck with all the courgettes. I'm like, yeah, don't worry. There'll be enough for all three of us, and I think we've got enough to feed the whole fucking street.
I'm trying to palm them off onto people at work, and everyone's just like, I don't want 5 courgettes.
No.
There was a book on Amazon that I just showed Matt, and it was called, what was it called? What am I going to do with all of these courgettes? So I think it's a common problem.
What, like an actual book?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The picture was like a cartoon of a man stood surrounded by courgettes.
So I don't think we're the first, sadly.
It's the one thing I found frustrating though, is that like, even though we've been there for quite a while, it's like we're getting a lot of certain vegetables. Like we're getting a lot of courgettes, we're getting a lot of chard. So much chard. A lot of lettuce.
Tries to kill me.
Yeah. But then nothing else. It's kind of like we've got to wait for things to get warmer, like for things to grow that take long to get there. But
not too much warm, too warm, because otherwise everything dies and dries out.
Or bolts, like it has for us. Yeah. So what do you guys think so far? We've had it since when? August, September, October, November, January.
5 months.
7, 8 months.
Is it really that long?
Yeah.
Yes, it's weird. It was like a long period of work, getting it ready, and then even planting everything out and stuff. It was like still looked pretty empty, and then over the last couple of months, it's just completely changed.
Gone crazy, hasn't it? Yeah.
And, it's good.
I do agree, though. I don't think that we'd be better with more variety, but then I don't know.
I think with it being the first year means that when the way we've sort of timed everything means we're getting something now, and then that.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we'll get like a different variety of stuff. But then I suppose that's how you're meant to do it, isn't it? Because things come into season, so you're meant to have like certain vegetables at certain times anyway. So
yeah,
it is how it works. I think we just need to get better at figuring out recipes for things that we can use what we've got already.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I think as well, it's like that the whole first year of doing it, because we wouldn't have known what was going to work. So it's just like me and Matt were speaking yesterday about the peas. Like they're cool to have, but unless you're growing a load of them, we've had such a small amount. Like what's the point of doing it? And like so we've got loads of chard, but we probably have too much. Yeah. So it could be one of those things like, well, let's have grow less chard because you get so much from it anyway, and like you were saying, get more variety. Because it's almost like. When we first started, I was like, we're going to have loads of vegetables all the time. Well, we do, but it's loads of the same stuff. Yeah. So it's rather have like less of that stuff, but a bigger variety. Yeah. But I suppose it's just trying to figure out like what can we grow that's different, that's still going to give us stuff pretty quickly so that we always have things going.
I think more research next year.
Yeah.
Into what grows at what time. But then we'd say that, but then everything that we've done so far has come up really early because of the weather, so you can't really control things like that. So we could put things in, they just won't come out.
Yeah.
Or they could all come out at once anyway. And also maybe staggering things, because now we've got like so much chard, it's going to be like, how are we even going to eat that much chard?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, because we planted everything, all of them in one go, maybe we should just do like a few at a time, and then a few the next week, and then a few the next week.
But then with the chard, because we did the second succession of it, didn't we? But the first one has carried on. That we didn't really need the second one because the first one has been
more than enough.
Has kept going.
Yeah, I think. What was I going to say now? The problem is as well, like you were saying with the weather. If the weather wasn't as hot as it is now, because this is unusually hot for this time of the year, everything would have probably grown a bit slower.
Yeah.
So next year we could say, cool, we're going to plant less stuff, but then
we're thinking about what's happened this year. And we don't know what's gonna...
Exactly. So next year it could be cooler and things just don't grow, so we have less stuff anyway. It's like...
Yeah, we'll have more space next year.
Yeah.
Which means we can plant as much stuff, but variety.
Yeah.
Variety.
The reason we'll have more space, just in case... I haven't actually spoken about this on the YouTube channel.
Well, I have. Breaking news!
I have spoken about it, but when we were looking at getting a second allotment, and... I did a video about a month or two ago showing this really big one that we were planning on taking, but we didn't get that one, which is pretty good because we've ended up getting the allotment right next to ours. So we're kind of going to have a double plot. So it's going to double our size, which means we'll be able to play around with more stuff.
Yeah.
And more room to experiment as well.
Yeah.
Because at the minute we were like, oh no, we don't want to put this because... So now if there's extra room, we can just try things out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter because we've still got loads of other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's I was just looking at what the seeds we ordered the other day, and it feels like we've got loads, but I think we've got like 20 different seeds.
Yeah.
But it's still not a huge variety because we've got like a whole bunch of beetroot and different carrots and things like that. But like you said, we'll be able to get other things, and if it doesn't work, I suppose it doesn't really matter.
I want to try like more weird things. Like we've got the oca growing. There's some. Well, I can't remember what the other little potatoes that I found were. They're similar to occas. They grow the same in the same sort of climate as well, but they come out like purple and pink and stuff like that.
Well,
they're really cute.
The oca does that, I think.
Yeah, but they're like really cute.
Where was this from?
I don't know. I was just googling pictures of potatoes and then.
Yeah.
I'll find it. It's okay.
I was telling Matt yesterday, I found this person on Instagram that sells heritage and like heirloom potatoes, and the one that I saw someone post was these purple ones, and I reckon it would be cool to try those because they look absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And they taste nice. Taste nice as well.
A lucus. I don't know how to say that. A lucus. Look at them, they're so cute, aren't they?
They look like potatoes, don't they?
Yeah, just like...
So do you get different colours from the same plant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did that on where we got the seeds from. They did on quite a few of the stuff. They did like a variety pack, didn't they? Where you just sort of get what you get. You don't know what you're getting. But most of them were all sold out, weren't they?
Yeah.
But
they did that with the radish. So you get like a radish mix, and you just, like you said, you get what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With these I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm so sorry to the South American people. Aloco, you can also eat the leaf, and it's used in a similar way to spinach. That would be
that's
good.
Cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think that's something quite cool to think about if anyone out there is listening to this and they want to get an allotment, is especially if you get a small one, is if you find stuff that you've got multi-uses for. So like we've grown, what are those? Kohlrabi. So you can eat the leaves off those, and you don't get a huge amount, but you get enough that if you had 2 kohlrabi, you've got 2 kohlrabi plus enough greens to be able to do something with.
Yeah.
And they taste like
a bit salty.
They taste like they should go with fish. They're like a bit. They taste a bit like samphire to me. It's a weird. Doesn't taste like a leafy green, does it?
No, especially when they're quite small. Because we tried a few of the seedlings and we're like, oh, let's see what this tastes like, and it was definitely.
We're like, is this the sea?
Yeah.
The mollusks.
What else have we grown that we've got multi?
Carrots, but we didn't try the carrot tops. I did taste some without cooking them, but they were a bit bitter, and I didn't really fancy it, to be honest.
Yeah.
What else?
I think you can eat a lot of the vegetable parts. You just don't buy them in the shop, so you can eat all like the leaves of brassicas, but no one really.
Beetroot and radish.
Yeah.
Can you eat that? I didn't know you could eat beetroot leaves.
Yeah. Beetroot. That's like chard. Beetroot and chard.
Is it?
Yeah. So when you pull the chard out, sometimes you'll find that a little bulb. Yeah. You can't eat the bulb, but you can eat the leaves. So they're from the exact same family.
Imagine if you got that mixed up and you thought that it was dangerous. It's dangerous having an allotment.
Yeah. Tell your story about what happened.
No. I got a gallbladder infection from eating too much chard.
Yeah. I don't
What's
even
the stuff in it called?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
Oxalis or something like that, isn't it? Or something like that. It crystallises in your gallbladder and your kidney, and you can get gallstones and kidney stones.
Let's see, dangers from eating chard. So now you know how to get your enemies if you know they can't eat chard.
Keep feeding them chard, just have an abundance.
We've actually got quite a large chemical warfare operation going on down there with all that chard now.
Yeah, we're gonna get GCHQ knocking on our door. Let me see.
I think it's like oxalis or oxalisite or something like
I think
that.
our radish
Oxalate.
leaves we didn't eat 'cause they were a bit overly munched, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were the radish leaves. They were munched.
But they're quite prickly. I'd be a bit worried to eat those. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What other dangers? Found some slugs in our lettuce that we'd had in our fridge. That was pretty
You
disgusting.
didn't eat them, did you?
No, but there was one day when I was eating something and it wasn't meant to be crunchy, and it was crunchy, and I felt it like in my mouth. So I was like, I didn't want to spit it out to find out what it was, so I just thought I'd just get it down and hope for the best.
Well, I suppose you got a bit of protein then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's all the dangers of the allotment.
I don't know. We've almost tripped on all the netting we've got
It's
everywhere.
true.
Yeah.
The rake.
The rake.
The rake's nearly killed Matt about 15 times.
And it's got
only
new
3
ones.
times, to be fair.
And we've got loads of thistle that's kind of nailed my ankles a few times.
Same.
Yeah.
This is one of those parts I'll definitely edit out.
No, leave this in. This is the best part.
Yeah, I won't. I'll let you guys listen to it before I post it up.
It's fine. I will tell you not to post it if I have to listen to it. I'll be like,
Thing is though, you guys will listen to your voice. I'm so used to it now. My voice, the way I hear it, sounds like it does. But if you go back and listen to this now, you'll be like, oh, my voice
Who
sounds
is
so
that?
weird.
I have to do it when I'm at work, and I have to listen to like calls that I've had, and I'm like, who is this person? Why is she so posh? And why is she a child? And I'm like, oh hello, my name's Katie. No, I hate it. What else can we talk about?
Broad beans.
Broad beans. You want
Yeah.
to talk about the broad beans?
Well, that's something we haven't had a lot of luck with.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
We tried. I tried my hardest to save them, but unfortunately, I don't think it's to be.
Yeah, we got an infestation of black fly quite early on, and we tried to get them off, and it didn't really work. And then it sort of took over, and Katie spent like an hour. I wasn't there, but you try to get like every single one off, and you did. And I was like, oh, cool, this is gonna really work. And then about 4 days later, they were just
all
covered
come
again.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to get every single egg. I thought I got every single egg, but I don't think I did.
I think they just
Okay.
come back so quickly as well.
Yeah, the ants just keep bringing them up.
Yeah.
I think it's also, that's another thing like we were speaking about. It's when you've got an allotment and it's small, you kind of want to start just growing everything, and you get overwhelmed quite quickly, and you soon discover you can't always grow everything. So like with the broad beans, we've got like one bunch each really,
Yeah.
and it's not worth all the effort to like plant them and look after them and water them, and they take up quite a lot of space to get nothing from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
think
hate
when we took all the ones that they weren't going to grow anymore,
No.
and we split them in half, and I got a meal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't. You only got one lunch, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think.
We when we opened some of them didn't even have broad beans in, although it felt like they did. You kind of opened them up and there was nothing there.
Quite a lot of the ones I had, I guess this is where they've not grown very well because of the black fly. You'd sort of open it up and there'd be like one big broad bean,
Yeah.
and then you get towards the end and there's just tiny at the end. They just sort of stop growing. The ones nearer the plant.
Why does it
Yeah.
happen then? Did they just
They
take the
take the
energy
nutrients out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
destroy the
They
plant?
take all the. That's why they're always at the top, because that's where all the sweetest sap, I guess you call it, is. So they take it all out, yeah, and the plant just doesn't know what to do.
We tried taking the tops off. That didn't work either.
No.
Tried spraying them off with high power water jets. Didn't work.
We use soapy water,
Scraped them.
garlic and chili
Garlic,
water.
chili, cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Nothing. Nothing
Yeah.
worked.
But I suppose that's cool, because now next year we got the allotment in August or October.
September, October, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Around them.
So it was overgrown when we got it, so we spent a lot of time, like pretty much the whole of winter, clearing it up, and even some into spring we were doing that. So we kind of started quite late, whereas this year we don't really have much work to do,
Yeah.
so we'll be able to start earlier. And I had a point to what I was saying. What was it
Something
saying?
about the broad beans.
Oh no, yeah, but no, we can spend less time growing stuff that we know that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can we won't grow broad beans next year, so we'll be able to fit something else where they would have been. You know, same with the peas.
Bean.
Huh?
been.
Why?
You just said would have. Sorry. Carry on.
Well, I didn't get it.
You said would have been.
Oh, excuse the pun. Yeah.
Ooh. Jokes are plenty on here.
What do you guys think the most difficult part of having the allotment is?
Being scared all the time that something's not going to work. Like every time we go
Yeah.
down, I feel like a sense of dread that like something's going to have fallen over or died or something's not going to work. I'm a bit disappointed about the broccoli.
Yeah, it's
No.
hard. It's quite hard as well. Like we'll go up there and we get like we got all these peas, we get all these courgettes. There's all this good stuff going on, but then just one thing is not going well, like the broad beans. Just puts a bit of a downer on everything, and it's
Yeah.
But I think that is because it's our first time doing it. Like
Yeah.
I guess people that do it become like seasoned to it, and you're like, oh, this didn't work this year, blah blah blah, and you just don't care. But because
Yeah.
it's our first thing, we're all really excited. I remember the day when we got the first pea.
yeah.
We were all like jumping around, high fiving each other like lunatics. Like 'cause this is a big thing for us. So I guess once you get used to things not working, you're not as disappointed.
Yeah.
I still get terrified. I mean, I've started growing vegetables in pots and stuff, and I didn't really. The first time I did it, I wasn't really worried. But then every year after that, every single time I plant a seed, I'm like, is this thing going to grow? Is it going to work?
Yeah.
Is it going to survive? And like, towards spring, when everyone is posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram about stuff they're growing, like, oh, I hope my tomatoes survive. Like, you know, and it always kind of works out in the end. But I know that feeling of dread where you go there, and you just think, please let everything still
Yeah.
be alive. Yeah.
When you used to run down the stairs in the morning to check your little seeds in your little pot, you'd be like, oh, look, there's a sprout. And if the one because if one hadn't sprouted, you'd be like, oh, one of them hasn't sprouted. But you
What
don't
did I
notice
do
like the other
wrong?
10 sprouts. That
Yeah.
You're just like, this one seed hasn't sprouted.
Well, it was like that with the cucumber melons because they took ages, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, they did.
I was really
Yeah.
worried about them.
Yeah. It's I was going to say something now. I can't remember.
Cucamelons, disappointed, scared. They took a while.
But instant replay by Katie. Yeah, I think it's also there's a massive commitment as well, like going down all the
Yeah.
time. Like it's in summer now, we go down almost every single day.
Yeah.
If not both of us or three of us, someone goes down. You know, so it's a big time commitment for anyone that wants to get started. Like, you get all gung-ho and you want to grow every vegetable under the sun, but when it all starts kicking off and everything's growing and you've got to water it every day,
Yeah.
and the weather's 30 degrees, it's like it very soon becomes like, oh.
That's Pepper.
She agrees.
Let me just see if someone's knocking. Yeah.
Okay, where were we? What were we talking about? Is that someone come round for vegetables?
No, it's our neighbour. She wanted a pot for some plants that she's got. Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
How things are.
How things are. What we
The
talked?
allotment.
No, we talked about what we're disappointed in and scared of, and what's the biggest worry. What is everyone most happy with?
Courgettes.
We've got trillions of them.
So many courgettes.
It is nice, as much as you can complain about having too many courgettes. How quick they grow.
Yeah.
This feels like you're doing something right.
Yeah. That's a good vegetable for anyone to start with, I think, because you
Yeah.
get that satisfaction. It's an easy vegetable to grow, isn't it? And you
Yeah.
get so much.
Yeah, and it seems like they take up quite a lot of room. Like we've got that fairly, well, not a large bed, but we've got that quite big area with just 6 plants in.
Yeah.
And when they're first growing, you think this is a lot of space to give up. But then the amount that you get on each one,
Yeah.
we haven't run out of courgettes at any point.
We always have too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I give to the neighbours sometimes, just like it's too much for us. But I think the best part for me is that satisfaction of picking something.
Yeah.
Like with the carrots, we thinned out the carrots a couple of weeks ago, and just the fact that there was carrots there,
Yeah.
I was like, yes, the carrots are alive.
It is
Like-
still exciting. Like I was saying earlier, when we like high five with the pea, like when we pick something new, we all do get all like really like, woo,
Yeah.
it's happening.
Carrots is a good one for that as well because you can't actually see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you pull it out of the
Surprise.
ground and there's a carrot there. It's
I got a really good one the other day, didn't I?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a really good one.
The first time I ever grew carrots, like the greens were like 30-40 centimetres high. I'm like, yes, there's going to be hundreds of them. And I pulled them up and there was nothing.
Yeah.
But they were so densely planted that it was basically just little spindly roots that had no place to grow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they were kind of, I think the spacing was just right because even though we thinned them out, the thinnings were still
Yeah.
pretty decent, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. What did we have that with? I can't even remember.
Just ate them.
Oh yeah, we roasted them, didn't we? We roasted them and had them with a bunch of other stuff, and it was really nice.
I think hopefully the successions we've done of carrots will work quite well as well. We should have
Enough.
good steady supply of
Yeah.
them. Because we've got that. On that other bed, we've got the 3 varieties together, haven't we?
And we still have a few weeks to plant some more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing as well about carrots, you don't have to lift them all at once. You can lift 5 or 6 each, and then that lasts you the week, and then the next week you just pull some more out. Like, whereas some stuff, like, you have to take them as soon as they've grown. Like peas, you just take them as soon as they're ready. You can't just leave them
The
there.
spinach was hard for that as well, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
we had to take all of that in one go, and we just had days where we just had like so much spinach because you couldn't leave it. It would just do the seedy thing.
Bolt.
Yeah, and then
We had that spell of hot weather with them as well, didn't we? So they all bolted quickly, and
Yeah.
spell.
we had to pull them all out.
The weather's been crazy this year because like March we had that snow and we'd already planted out our peas and we were like, oh, they're all going to die. Half of them survived, which was quite cool. But then it went really hot, didn't it? And then all the spinach bolted.
Yeah.
And it went normal.
Then it went normal.
It's
And
hot
now
again now,
it's-
and the broccoli's bolted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the peas have dried out like it's some sort of desert.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of smaller peas on there though. I think that some of them will be all right.
Yeah. Well, did you say you can make split pea soup?
Well, yeah, if you just leave them to dry, because all those ones on the far left with the biggest peas are really big, and that all the whole plant's drying out. But then the one on the right, closest to like the pathway, those are still growing. So if we just leave the ones on the big plants, let
I
them
guess
dry
they're
out.
covered by the dry ones as well, so they're not getting
Yeah.
hit by the sun as much. Is lentils just hard peas?
No, the lentils are just lentils.
Right. Cut that.
Yeah, but I think another thing is, as you always have to prepare yourself for some kind of disappointment, because nothing's always going to work. Like, what other failures have we had so far? Or things, not necessarily failures, but things that just didn't work out. So the broccoli, or the calabrese, half of them are bolted.
Yeah.
Not got as many patty pan as I thought we'd have.
Yeah.
either.
Yet, they are coming.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
coming. They're taking a lot slower. Tomatoes are taking longer than I thought they would.
Mm.
I don't know what's going on with them.
That might just be, I think again, it's all down to the hot weather, but like if we grew vining types, so like the ones that grow up canes and things, I don't know how it works, but I think those start ripening as the thing keeps growing.
Right.
So the bottom ones will ripen, you can pick those and it keeps growing
And it moves up.
Yeah, and then, so I think there's a special method that it's called, but basically as you've harvested like the lowest branch of the lowest not branch
Vine?
is it a vine?
Branch?
What's the word for
Shoot.
no, there's a word for it. Anyway, if you once you've taken the lowest bit of tomatoes, you cut all of the leaves off, so you just get a stem, and it just keeps.
Stem?
No, there's a word for it.
Growth.
It's gonna come to me like at 2 a.m. I'm gonna look at it right now.
Stick.
Like I suppose vine, yeah. Tomato. No, I'm not even gonna look. Yeah, so it might just be the variety we've grown. It's just
Yeah. If we can get some vining ones, then if we get the next one next year, because I love vine tomatoes.
There is a lot on there, so if they all start ripening, we will have
That's true.
a boatload of tomatoes.
That's true.
all in one go.
Yeah.
So it might. Yeah, I think a lot of it's got to do with the heat. Next year might be completely different.
It'd be interesting to see as well, because the weather's been very odd this year already. We don't know what sort of autumn we're going to have. So we've got a lot of stuff for the autumn.
Yeah,
we've
we
got
have
the
actually, that's
cauliflowers,
true.
we've got the sprouting broccoli,
Some of the squashes.
sprouts, all that.
Yeah.
And what if it stays warm and we don't get a frost?
Well, we've got no sprouts in. It's
Exactly.
gonna be a waste, isn't it?
Why do sprouts have to frost to grow? What's that about? Does
It
anyone
makes
know?
them sweeter. So if it doesn't get a frost, they just taste a bit farty.
Oh, really?
I think. Yeah.
Well, I like farty sprouts.
But yeah, so we've had what else has not gone quite right?
That's it. I think.
That's
I think
about it,
everything else
really,
has
I
gone really
think.
well so far, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Everything seems to be. The French. Is it the French beans? They're doing well, aren't they?
Yeah.
They grew like literally up the whole side of the thing within a matter of about a week.
Chilies are looking pretty
Chilies
good.
are looking pretty good.
And the peppers.
And the peppers.
Yeah. So a lot of that stuff is like late summer
Mm.
stuff. So I suppose we'll have what's going to happen. I can see it now. We'll have no courgettes, and we won't have any salads and stuff. We're just going to have like beans and chilies and
Would you
tomatoes.
be eating chilies for every meal?
Yeah.
I don't mind that so much though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to make some hot sauce.
Yeah.
when we get our chilies, and some
Tomatillos, that's another.
tomatillos.
Yeah.
We'll be making loads of salsa. We've already made quite a lot of pickle, haven't we? Pickled
Yeah.
things.
You've done radish, haven't you?
Done
And
pickled
courgette.
radish,
And courgette, yeah.
courgette.
Which we haven't tried yet, so.
Yeah, that's festering away in the fridge, isn't it?
Pickling. It's cool.
Yeah, same thing. Right?
Yeah, I think everyone becomes expert at like doing stuff with all the vegetables because you end up getting so much of stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of stuff that you can pickle as well. So there's always that to fall back
Anything.
on with most things.
Yeah.
Make a piccalilli. Anything goes. Just shove it all in.
That's a really good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Well, how does it go yellow though? Is that from
Mustard.
Mustard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anything extra you get, just bung it in, pickle it,
Yeah.
be fine. Just we haven't got any cabbage though, have we? We can't make any sauerkraut. Have we got any?
No,
we haven't got any
no.
cabbage, have we?
Would be cool to try that next year. I grew that in the garden last year, and they got annihilated by slugs. I
Yeah.
still got 6 cabbages, but they were only like
Tiny.
that big.
That'd be a good thing. That those and stuff like potatoes and onions and garlic and stuff we haven't done this year because they're so cheap to buy in the shops
Yeah.
and they take up a
Space,
fair
yeah.
amount of room.
Mm.
Whereas if we've got more room,
Doesn't stuff like that have to be planted sort of autumn and winter as well?
Well, no, cabbage. Cabbage was in the beginning of the year, and I think I harvested it in August or September, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we weren't ready really just at the beginning of the year, were we?
yeah,
So there was a few things that we couldn't do
Yeah.
that we needed to plant sort of early winter. But hopefully we should have been in time for this year.
Well, things like garlic and onions, you can plant some of that in winter.
Yeah.
And we still have those broad bean seeds though, so we could, if we planted some broad beans in autumn and overwintered them and planted them out early next year, like February, because they can withstand the cold,
yeah,
we might not have a problem with the black fly.
yeah. That's probably worth trying.
Is there any way of getting like a disease-resistant seeds? Do they exist? Because I've heard they do have them in like.
I mean,
Other
with things
things.
like that, then they're likely to be more hybrids,
Yeah.
and you won't get seeds off them.
Right. Does that mean you're not as likely to get fruit and stuff off of them? Or?
More likely, probably, but
Okay.
Well, so you can't keep the seeds and grow more. So all the stuff that we have are like non-hybrid,
Mm.
so we can keep all the seeds from them and they'll grow. So
Like, how do you get new varieties of plants?
with time and patience.
That might be something to experiment on for next year then. Something to look into.
yeah, were you there when we were talking about how to breed your own different varieties? It
Yeah,
was-
I think so. When you do like the thing and then you like match up the different things.
Yeah, that's it. And it takes like 4 years or something like that
Little
until you get like
Punnett
a
squares.
stable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that could be something to do.
I've heard people say as well, like you can grow hybrid seeds, but what will happen is, I might be completely wrong, is it whatever, so let's say you've got like a hybrid courgette plant and you plant that seed the next year, the plant will grow, but you might not necessarily get courgettes, or you'll get courgettes that are like absolutely massive but just taste like water.
Yeah.
Or you'll get like another example is chilies. You could like get a hybrid chili, and half the chili plant would be incredibly hot, you can't eat, and the other half won't taste like anything. So I think that's one of the problems with hybrid seeds is you don't get consistency the next year. Yeah, which is a bit frustrating, but I suppose you just give it a go and see what happens.
Yeah, because there's a few things we've got as well that we can overwinter.
Which one?
The cucumelons.
Oh
Can you?
yes,
No,
yeah.
the cucumelons you can take the tuber out
Yeah,
and save that.
Do they have a tuber? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
and you keep that warm, I suppose, or just like dry, and then you can plant that next year, and cucumbers
And
grow
they'll come
from
up
it.
earlier and you get
Oh.
more of them.
They're
Yeah.
so cute, aren't they? Them cucumbers. Little cute grapes.
I think the kale. I think the kale we've got, although it's tasty, but it's kind of a bit of a weird plant. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was quite spiky, some of it, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
even
it
after
was,
we
yeah.
cooked it, it was still a bit. I don't know. It felt a bit like a cat's tongue. Do you know what I mean? Like that sandy, papery feeling. It was weird.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was
I
nice
think
taste though.
the kale as well. It looks like we've got so much, but we haven't had that much from it.
Yeah.
Kale, it cooks
I
down
Mm,
guess-
so much. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might. I mean, we could probably pick some, because if you look at it, there's a lot of new growth coming up, so it might be
Yeah.
worth just cutting all the big leaves off. I suppose you get like a huge bunch, and like you said, it just goes down to almost nothing. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like the spinach, like that whole row of spinach we pretty much picked in one day, and then we split it between the two of us, and it was gone within one meal.
Yeah.
Mad.
I suppose that's why it's so cheap in the shops as well.
Yeah.
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 I was thinking, how big does a spinach farm have to be? Because think about how much spinach is in a bag. Like, and that's one row. That must be so much space just for spinach.
And it doesn't grow up, does it? It's just small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad. I guess you could grow it on like levels, on a like raised bed.
A lot of the indoor farms and stuff do that. They're doing shipping containers or warehouses. They've just got like levels and they've got lights that warm it up, and it's just like, it's one of those vegetables. Again, you kind of wonder, is it worth growing because it's relatively cheap, but there's still having fresh spinach.
Yeah.
And it lasts, like all the salads and stuff we've picked. You pick it, you put it in the fridge, and it lasts a whole like 10 days.
Yeah.
You buy something in the shop, you open the bag, have a small salad, and the next day it's basically all gone, isn't it?
It withers and like goes all wet. Yeah, we've had that lettuce. It's only just started to go now, but that's been in the fridge nearly 2 weeks, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. And we've had quite a lot of lettuce as well.
It is crazy how much longer it
That's
lasts.
been quite good.
We haven't even taken up that much space with it.
No, and they grow back so quickly as well once you've cut them, that we've been able to have spinach every week, but not spinach, lettuce every week.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that we picked last week, we just finished last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been feeding it to the bugs, which have been being fed to the lizard, so she's also eating vegetables, sort of, a bit.
Circle of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The bugs are loving the fresh veg. They're living for it, aren't they?
Is that the crickets that go to the lizard? Yeah.
Yeah, locusts. They're hideous. And I've got my pet mealworm bugs that I'm now growing, and they're loving the lettuce as well.
You grow them?
Well, like the mealworms, they go into like a weird cocoon thing, and then if you don't take the cocoon out, then the mealworms will eat them like the cocoon, because it's like, I can't remove. So I've been taking them out and then putting into a special bug house where they can grow, and then they turn into these like nice little purple beetles.
Okay.
And now they're just living there. And I've got a little...
Can you use the beetles to feed the lizard?
The beetles you can't feed to the lizard, but they will eventually turn into more mealworms.
Okay, yeah.
So you can start a little farm. But at the minute I'm just enjoying having little pet bugs. They're quite cute, aren't they?
No.
Well, anyway, they like the lettuce, so...
I think out of all of us on the allotment, Katie, if as soon as you say there's a bug, you're right there. Like, let me see it. Where's it? Don't kill it.
Even the slugs. I like saved the slugs in the plant pots.
Yeah.
I just put them at the front. I'm like, you stay there and eat the grass. Yeah, I'm not the best person to have an allotment.
There's a frog again yesterday.
Oh, was there?
Big one, like a big.
Aww.
Yeah. Someone was telling me, one of my customers, that you don't necessarily have to have a massive pond to attract frogs, because those are good for like loads of bad bugs.
Yeah.
He said he's literally taken like a big bucket, dug a hole, put the bucket in the ground, whacked some water in.
Even like bird baths and things.
Yeah.
People use bird baths and then just like, you know, you get the stone ones, you just smack them off and then leave the bird bath like on the floor without the post, and you can use that as like a little mini pond. Yeah.
That's going to be the cool thing with this new allotment now, because we've got like... well, we've got all this extra space that we can do stuff that you don't necessarily want to do on a small plot, because like we've grown stuff that we now know what works and what we can grow next year and what we might not grow, but we've got extra space to experiment with other vegetables, and we've got extra space to like do things like have fruit trees growing with fruit, have a little pond.
Yeah, I think fruit is because we've only got Greg, and then some of the Greg is the tree. And
what tree is it? I always forget.
Green gauge tree.
Okay.
He's a green gauge tree, and then we've got some of the blackberries from that guy who said that we can have the blackberries on our side.
Oh yeah.
And then, but that's the only fruit that we've got, isn't it? So I think I'd like to have some more fruit on this one. Strawberries definitely.
Raspberries.
Get some little like miniature fruit trees.
Yeah, want to have a look at things that don't really take up too much space, but can be grown.
I'll show you the ones we've got in our garden. They're patio varieties, so you can grow them in pots, but they like, I think they grow to like 2 meters tall. You know.
You can just have them in like buckets and things like that, can't you? How many are we allowed now then? 6 trees.
6 trees.
Okay.
Yeah. So on our allotment site, one of the rules is that you can only have 3 trees per plot, and then in terms of structures, how big is it? There's a certain size, like
I can't remember.
Was it something like not more than 25 square meters or something like that? A certain proportion of your plot can go to like a structure, but not more than that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we couldn't just like put a big marquee over it or something like that.
Build a house.
Yeah. Although some people, like that guy next to us, the guy whose plot we're taking over, he had 2 polytunnels and a big shed. It was like almost half his plot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although I suppose that other one was more of a grow cage.
Yeah.
I feel a bit sad for him.
Yeah, we're not too sure what happened to him. He looked a bit poorly, and he just stopped coming.
We tried to water his plants in case he came back, but he just never did.
Yeah.
But I mean, now we've got potatoes. We'll cut this because this makes it sound like a psychopath.
Definitely going to keep it in. We all need to say something a bit psychopathic and keep it in.
Feed people chard, and then
when
they pass, we take their plots.
Yeah. Just lace the chard with arsenic and Kerry's home.
Hello.
Hello. Come on, Yost. Yeah, I suppose that's. We haven't really spoken about anything in general, but that's cool. You know, is there anything else you guys want to say or?
Grow more vegetables.
No, I don't think so.
What advice would you give someone that's going to start an allotment?
Be prepared that it's going to be a fair amount of work.
Yeah.
And look at the plot and consider how much work it's going to be to clear.
Yeah.
Ours wasn't too bad, but I think if it had been much worse, or if we'd been doing it, either of us had been doing it on our own, I think it would have been too much work to clear it in time for the spring, and we started in, September, October?
Yeah. And even then, it took us pretty much all the way. I mean, we cleared it relatively quickly, but to do everything else, like dig up the soil, and
the last bed,
all that.
Yeah, we sort of gave up, didn't we? Because we were like, oh, there's already stuff growing. We'll just leave this last bed for a while, and then it got to the point where we run out of space, so we had to do it.
Yeah.
And we were just like,
Yeah, it's definitely a huge amount of work. I think more than you think.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you see an allotment and you want to take it, think how much work it'll be and times it by 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think as well because we didn't. Because we got it sort of ready in stages, thinking, well, by the time we need this one, we'll be able to clear that. And then you don't realise, when you start planting stuff out, how quickly the space goes.
Yeah.
Like, we thought we had so much room, and
we got nothing.
We've run out of room.
We're now planting things in random places, like, oh, can this kale fit at the end of this one? Yeah, it'll go in there.
And that's kind of why we wanted to get a second allotment, because we didn't realise how quickly the space would go. Yeah. What about you, Katie? What would you say your advice to...
Save the bugs. I don't know. I don't really have any advice. Make sure you do the weeding all the time because it gets out of control, and then I have to go around and do loads all at once because I always look at it and think, oh, it's not that bad at the minute. Because I like doing the weeding. It's like, I like the menial tasks.
The bug rescuer and the...
Bug rescuer, weeder, and eater of the vegetables. That's me.
Except the chard.
Be prepared to water every day as well in the summer.
Yeah. We are really lucky though because you live so close. Like, there's some days where we wouldn't be able to get here, isn't there? And then like when you went away and stuff, it's okay because we're here and we're going away next week. So you have to consider: is there going to be times when I'm not there, and is there someone else that can go and do it for me? Yeah,
that's I think I would say if you want to take an allotment, if you can, do it with friends because it takes off so much of the pressure. Like straight away, you don't have to going on holiday in summer. Everyone wants to do something. You want to go away, and if it's really hot and no one's there to water your plants, you've just spent like the whole of spring trying to do stuff, and you come back and everything's dead. Yeah.
Or at least have someone that you can rely on that you know will go and do it while you are away.
Yeah.
And talk about it with them before. Because you don't want to get to like summer and then you're like, oh, I can't even go on holiday because I've got to stay here and just water these vegetables all day long. But yeah.
Cool. So that's it. I'll mix match this all together and try and make some sense out of it. So that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. We definitely had quite a lot of fun making it, and I think afterwards we kind of spoke and thought that we'll probably do these, fairly regularly, maybe like once every couple of months, really, just to sort of give everyone an update. And I just think it'll be a bit more interesting for you guys listening to all of us speak rather than me just sort of yabber on about nonsense, really. So that's it. If you guys, whatever you're listening to this on, it would be great if you could leave a review and a like and subscribe to the podcast. I'll try and make them as regularly as possible. I will see you guys next time. See you later.